Hey folks, Toby Russell here, your trusted real estate advisor for today. I want to talk a little bit about foreclosure. There's more people than you think that actually have to go through this foreclosure process. Some people believe that bankruptcy is the only way to stop a foreclosure and save their peace of mind. But I want to show you a better way to stop foreclosure and not have to go through this whole bankruptcy process, and perhaps even improve your credit along the way. Bankruptcy is not necessarily a sign of your character. Life throws different hurdles at us daily, sometimes hourly, it seems like, and sometimes you just get in a slump where it's hard to catch back up. But remember, foreclosure and trying to go through bankruptcy is not just as easy as clicking a button and it's gone. There are some pros and cons for filing bankruptcy to prevent or stop your foreclosure. Now, one reason people look at bankruptcy first is because it puts an automatic stay on the property, meaning they can't kick them out. The bank just can't kick them out. And it also provides some temporary relief from perhaps other creditors, sometimes permanent relief, but it also can provide some long-term effects as well. The other pro is it can protect your future wages. So only past wages can be garnished, not anything in the future. So that's another reason why people look at bankruptcy. It provides kind of a fresh start. Number 3 is it can be somewhat of an emotional relief. All these creditors and everything are now off your back because you've done this fresh start bankruptcy. And number 4, it doesn't mean that you're going to lose absolutely everything. It means you do get to hold on to some of the more important assets in your life so that you can proceed on with this fresh start. Now, unfortunately, that's pretty much the only pros to bankruptcy. The cons, however, are pretty lengthy. So number 1, and the kind of obvious one, I feel like, is credit damage. Long-term credit damage. Depending on if you go Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 or however you file bankruptcy, it can stay on your credit report for 7 to even 10 years, meaning you're not going to have credit worth a darn for a long time. So this is not just a temporary relief. This can be a temporary relief for the current bills, but you're going to be struggling for those next 7 to 10 years if you need to take out any kind of lending. Number 2, and the reason a lot of people go through bankruptcy or foreclosure, is a money issue. Well, bankruptcy is not free. You have to file to do it. It can be anywhere from $1,000 to a little over $3,000, depending, again, what type of bankruptcy you go through, to file this cost. Well, with money being clearly the main issue here, that may not necessarily be doable for a lot of people. Now, not including the current amount that the bankruptcy is going to cost you is going to be a long-term effect as well. Because later down the road, any kind of lending that you are able to do is probably going to be more expensive. You're going to have a higher interest rate because now you're considered a higher risk borrower. So they try to make up that difference with a higher interest rate. Number 3 can be a liquidation of assets. This means that it could be anywhere from your house, your car, and any other valuable items could be liquidated to help pay some of these debts. Number 4, we've already kind of hit on this about borrowing. It's typically going to be a whole lot harder for you to borrow, whether it be a store credit card or trying to get a new mortgage down the road in the future. Number 5, student loans are exempt, meaning if you have a student loan, it's not going to just disappear one day. It's not going to be discharged off your credit. You're still going to owe that. Now you don't have a house and you still owe your student loans that perhaps you may have got a job with or never did. But now sometimes with student loans you can look at forbearance or deferment to try to put that off down the road a little bit longer. Number 6, if you have a joint account and maybe you and someone else has applied for a house or is on a house mortgage together or on a car together, the problem is just because you file for bankruptcy doesn't mean the other person gets out too. They still owe for that debt. So you could kind of be throwing them under the bus in this event that, hey, you can't pay, but they still have to. Number 7, you could have difficulty even renting a house. Sometimes they run credit reports. Some people look for rent to own. They also run credit reports a lot of times, if you can even find anything like that. Sometimes even employers run credit checks, depending on what type of job you're looking at, to know what type of person they're going to be hiring. So this can affect you even getting a job to pay your future bills. Number 8, now that you're also considered high risk since you went through bankruptcy, your car insurance could go up. So now your car insurance is higher and you lost the house. And number 9, the most important one, which I don't think a lot of people think about, once you've started bankruptcy, or once you're into bankruptcy and you filed bankruptcy, there's no going back. You can't, oops, sorry, I didn't realize this consequence or that consequence. Once it's done, and it's going to be on your record for a very long time. A couple alternatives to bankruptcy could be selling some assets. Maybe you need to sell that car to make up some past payments. Find another way to work for a little while. Number 2, you could negotiate or try to get a loan mod with your creditors. Sometimes they're willing to listen or renegotiate some terms, or move this to that and that to this, and make the payments where you can actually catch up. Number 3 can be a great way to, again, it kind of kicks that down the road a little ways, but debt consolidation. Instead of paying over here, paying this credit card, that credit card, you can kind of put it all in one group so that you're only paying one bill. You know that they're all getting paid, and hopefully you can find something that's maybe a little better interest rate. Just remember, when you're going through foreclosure or getting into it, bankruptcy should be your last result. You should look at selling things, doing anything you can to not have to go through bankruptcy or foreclosure, either one. Now, down below, we'll have some tips and tricks and some various ways that you can avoid foreclosure and perhaps still save your credit as well, and in some cases actually improve your credit. We'll have it down below, and we'll have it in our website to help you better understand your choices, and thank you for watching the video.